Let's get started with part 2. I'm going to select the main armature here, and then I'm going to go to edit mode. Alright, so my mistake on the last one was when I was renaming the toe.l, I ended up selecting the tail for it, which messed up the naming of foot.l right there. So just make sure this one is the foot.l, this is toe.l. If you don't want to specify the .l, but you set up your rig in the middle of XYZ right here, you can also select all the bones that's supposed to be on the left side or right side. You can right click and then name, auto name left right, then it will do the .l for you. Or if you're doing it on the other side, it'll do the .r for you. Okay, but for our purpose, we're doing the .l so that when we symmetrize this, we'll have .r on the other side, corresponding bone. So for this one, since we are setting the IK, we don't need the bone on this side. That's just to kind of demonstrate to you in part 1 that we can symmetrize everything. Okay, and we are just setting the IK right now, and we will resymmetrize it later. All right, so let's get started on the IK. So in order to do the IK, we need to create some bones first that we'll need to control our IK. So the IK for the legs only, and then it's FK for the top. Okay, so we'll do an FK and IK combination to animate this. Also, we will need to set up copy rotation for the fingers so that you don't have to manually rotate everything. And we will need to just set up a bone right here to be the main body control. So we'll go to the front viewport. We're going to select this bone right here, and then we're going to duplicate it, Shift D and then Z to move it down. Okay, what's going to happen to this bone is that it's not connected to any of these bones right here, but we want to make sure. I'm going to go to the right side right here, and then we can so it's kind of sticking out. We can G is what I meant to press, not E. We can put it straight, or we can also bring it forward like so. Its whole purpose is the main body controller, so we can just bring it up straight like this. Okay. All right, let's select this bone and let's give it a name. This one is the main body, or the body control. I'm just going to put BODY _ control. So our designation for controllers would be CTRL for controllers. All right, another thing we need to do with this, it's we don't want this deforming any part of the mesh. Okay, so we're going to uncheck deform right here while we're at the bone tab selection. Okay, so that means it, when we move this, it will not deform any part of the model. Okay, the purpose of this bone is it will become the main body control. So when we move this bone, the whole body or the whole rig would move. So it used to be on this one right here where we moved this before. If I go to post mode here just to show you, when we move the spine 1, it takes the entire body. So we want to go to edit mode here, select the spine 1, shift select the body controller, always select the last piece that you want to be the parent, control P, keep offset. So now if I go to post mode, when we select the main body controller, now it moves the entire skeleton. So that means you can do an animation of jump and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and the whole body just moves with it. All right, so that's done. Let's go back to edit mode here. Let's go to press number 3 right here to go to the side. Let's create the other controllers. So we're going to select the bone right here, just the tail. Okay, and we want to extrude this one. Oh, I have the other one selected there also, so let me just select it right here. Okay, make sure it's the tail of shin 1. Let me click undo here, make sure I did not accidentally select that and extruded it. So we want to select this shin .l, the tail for it. Then let's go back to the side viewport. Okay, and on this one I'm going to press E and then Y. We're going to move this kind of back like so. Okay, so this will be our controller for moving the foot. So again, we're going to select this, Okay, we're going to rename it. This will be the left foot controller, so it'll be foot dot L foot controller underscore dot L. Okay, so we want the dot L to be last so that when we symmetrize this, it'll be on the other one. Okay, another thing we need to do for this one is it will not deform. Okay, and then since this is kind of connected to that, we want to do an Alt P, clear the parent. So this one now is independent. Okay, so we clear the parent, and then what we want is for this bone, when it actually moves, okay, we want to make sure that it's being controlled by this bone right here. Okay, so but before we do that, let's finish the other bone creation right here. I'm going to select this part, which is the knee. Okay, and we're going to do an extrude, so press E and then Y axis. Okay, what we need to do with this is disconnect it, so clear parent, Alt P. Okay, select this one and then just move it kind of forward right here. This will be our knee controller. It controls the knee, basically that's its job. And we just need to rename it now. So this will be knee underscore controller dot L. It will also not deform. Okay, and we want this to be following the foot wherever we move the foot, so we're gonna need to parent this now. Okay, so for this one right here, we need to select this and then select the foot last. Okay, Control P, keep offset. So that means when we go to post mode, wherever we move this foot, okay, that one just kind of follows. All right, so let's go back to edit mode here. We need to select this foot right now, shift click the foot controller, and then Control P, we want it to be its parent so that when we move this later on in post mode, okay, the foot and the knee controller goes with it. Okay, so for now, that's just the minimum of the setup for the legs, and we are done with that setup. Okay, so now let's set up our IK. So we need to make sure we used to be in edit mode. Okay, now we're going to go to post mode. So let's go select on post mode. So the IK bone that we will apply to this rig for it to work will be the shin.L. Okay, so while the shin.L is selected, we're going to go to our bone constraints right here. Okay, let me go to the side viewport here so we can see it like so. Okay, and we're going to add the IK kinematics under tracking. Okay, so once I click that, it will have this slew of menu. Again, you can only do this in post mode. If you try to do this in edit mode, the constraint tab will not be available. All right, so while this bone is still selected, it's going to ask us a few things right here. Okay, like the target. So this will be, we only have one armature right there, so the target is the armature. Okay, and then the bone would be the bone.L. Okay, so the bone.L, foot.L, not bone.L. So let me scroll down here. Okay, foot.L. All right, and as you can see, it kind of did something there. So let's check. Okay, so if I select the foot controller right here, all right, so it doesn't look like it's kind of working in there because we need to set up our chains. Okay, so we want two chains right here, chain length, so that it will know that we want to control the bone up to 2 chains. Okay, so if you have an advanced rig where you have another bone right here for the knee, then that would be 3 chains right here. Okay, another one is we want to set up our knee target right here. So pole target, we're going to select that. That would be the armature again. Okay, and then we want the bone to be the knee controller. So let's find that. All right, knee controller. I think I miss it. Oh, there it is at the very bottom, knee controller.l. And this one went weird like so. It went inside right here, and then we just have to correct that by changing the pole target to -90 on this one, so it's facing forward. Okay, yours might be 90 degrees sometimes, but rotate it first and make sure I put here as -90 and it position itself like so. All right, so that's basically it for the IK for the leg. So if we go like so, we can move that, and then when we select the knee controller, we can change the pivot. Okay, we can make the knee do whatever it needs to do regarding positioning. Okay, so again, this is a basic controller. There's no foot roll. It will do the job for the what we want to do with our model. Okay, so if you want all this to kind of reset to the original position, you can select everything here while in post mode, and then you can do Alt or Option G to reset that. You can also go to post right here and then clear transform all, and then all rotation and movement that you've done will all be resetted back. All right, so now let's go to our FK controller right here, and this will be for the hand. Okay, so what we want when we animate this in post mode for the hand, we want to be in normal transform coordinate. Okay, when we're animating everything else, well, we can be in global, but when we are animating for the hands right here, you want to switch to normal mode so that it follows kind of the orientation here. Okay, it can follow the orientation of the position of the hand, because they're a little bit spread like so, they're not perfectly straight. So if we're in global, okay, and we go to our rotation gizmo right here, as you can see, it's no longer following the orientation of the bone because this is perfectly positioned to the X, Y, and Z axis. But if we switch to normal, it follows the orientation of the bone like there, like so. Okay, so we can rotate along the Z axis, and then we can curl those fingers right there. We could also animate the fingers right there to kind of accommodate the animation that you want to do. Okay, so what we want to do here is simply add a rotation constraint, copy rotation, so that we don't have to curl all these fingers one at a time. We can just curl this, and this two will follow. Okay, for the thumb, we're going to leave it alone because you don't necessarily want to curl all this at the same time. You know, you can have complex animation with your thumb and not necessarily follow it exactly as is. Okay, so like for this one right here, I can curl them along the y-axis right here, but you can definitely rotate it like so. So we want to do it just for the this 3 fingers right here. So we'll start with the index 2 right here. Okay, we're not applying it on this one, we're applying it on this because it'll just copy the previous one right there. Okay, so when we go to this one, let's go to the bone constraints. We're in post mode. Okay, and right here we're simply going to give this a copy rotation. Okay, and it will just say here which target. We have 1 armature, so we go to the armature right here. Okay, that armature right there is the same bone system. And then which one do you want to copy? Basically it's index 01.L. Okay, so let's find that real quick. And you can also do your eyedropper, but we're just gonna find that in there. So index 1 right there. Okay, and we want to copy the z-axis rotation, so just the z. Okay, and change this to local space on both target and owner, local space. Okay, and then we can even set the influence right here to minimize the rotation from full. Okay, so let's give that a try. Select this one, and then z-axis, when we rotate it, as you can see, index 2 is now following. Okay, So let's do the same thing for this one right here. Copy rotation, okay, and then it will be armature. You're copying index 2, okay, index 2, only z-axis, okay, and you want to be in local space on both. So now when we rotate this, you get your automatic kind of curl. And you can select this one. Let's say you don't want that finger curling too much like so. You can lessen the influence so that it only rotates up to a certain point. But for now, let's leave that at 1. Okay. So let's do the same thing here, and I can copy. We can copy the other ones for this one here. Okay. So let's do that real quick. Copy rotation. Okay. We're going to target the armature. The bone would be middle 1. Okay. Z-axis only, and we want to be in local space for target and owner, local space. Okay, and we can select it for this one right here. So we're going to select this bone right here. Okay, and then shift click this bone. All right, so I selected this first, and then I shift click this bone, and then what I can do here is copy to selected. Okay, so again, I click the bottom first, the one without the constraint, and then shift click this one here. The drop down, I'm gonna copy to selected. So this inherited all the exact same setting as this one, so it won't work because it's copying that. So we simply need to change the bone that it's trying to copy. So instead of 1, it's gonna copy 2. Okay, and that's it. So it's exactly the same thing. So if we copy this right here, then we can just curl that. Z-axis. I click on the wrong one. There we go, and it'll curl. Okay, along z-axis. Okay, and let me click undo on that one, and then we'll do the exact same thing for this one right here. So I'm gonna select this. Okay, and then I'm going to shift click this one. I'm gonna copy selected. Select this one right here. Change it from middle 1. It will have to be pinky. Pinky 1 is what it's trying to copy. And then select this, shift click that, copy selected, and then simply change, select this one, change, instead of copying pinky 1, it's going to copy pinky 2. All right, and that's all kind of set. So if I select all this right here, Option R or Alt R resets all that. So if I select all this all together and then go to Z-axis right here, as you can see, it'll curl all those at the same time. Okay, so that's our setup for the FK for the upper body, and then lower body would be the IK. So we just need to go back to edit mode right here. Make sure that all your bones are resetted. Okay, let me go back here and go to global real quick. Okay, and I'm just going to select all these bones that will be affected by the symmetry. Okay, once we have all those selected, I'm just going to go right click and then symmetrize. It'll do everything on the other side, and as you can see, all our IK will be set up, including the name and including the rotation. So let's just try that real quick. Let's go to pose mode, select all these 3 right here. Okay, and then we can let me go to normal right there, Z-axis, which is blue. There you go. So it inherited all the rotation. So if I go here, all right, there we have it. The IK and FK is now set. So I'm going to press A right here. You can go to pose and then clear. All transform will go back to normal. So very quick right here, I'm going to go to file, save the file as. So IK for IK, and then I'm just going to go with this one for IK and FK set. Okay, save this one like so. Okay, and then we are now ready to go to the next lesson, which is the skinning and weight painting.